I'll see you both. I'll see you. Ooh. I'm talking to you both. What is up, guys? I'm Elena and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is inspired by Rose Forever New York. They reached out to me and asked if they could send me the box of roses and give my honest review on what I think about them. So today I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about the company, kind of give you a rundown of what to expect and what I got. These roses are supposed to last for a year. They come in round boxes, they come in squared boxes, they come in several different colors. Now, you can get purple roses, you can get silver roses, whatever your preference is. This specific box is the Passion Ecuador Rose, and they come in the black Parisian hat box. But anyway, let's look at these. Now, this specific box retails for $396. They are on sale right now for $189. So if you guys want to purchase these roses, I will list the information in the description below. The outside shipping box was perfectly packaged, no dents, nothing. I open it up and I get the box, and it's got a couple little dents on the outside. Not a huge deal, not a big deal, but you know, if I were paying that much money, I think I'd want a perfect box, you know? So that, and then there was a couple little spots on the other side, not a big deal, some glue stuck to the outside. So I open it up. They're beautiful, aren't they? I mean, they are absolutely beautiful. One side was kind of dented in, not a big deal. So this one here, they kind of come out nice. This one looks like maybe it was kind of pushed up against the side of the box a little bit. And then I noticed, if you look here, it's like I don't know if it's molded or if it's just an old spot, or maybe where it kind of leaned up against the box and the black kind of rubbed off on it. And again, not a big deal, but if I were paying that amount of money, I wouldn't be very happy with that. And one of the roses was kind of flipped, you know, on its side like that. And you know, that's totally fine. I can always flip that back. It is pricey, they're not cheap. So if they weren't on sale, I would not ever pay $369 for a box of 16 roses. It's way overpriced. $189 is still a little bit too much for me, especially when they arrive in the condition that they did. So like I said, not a huge deal, but if you guys are looking for something to give someone as a gift and they last a year, pretty cool. I did reach out to the company and let them know how they arrived, took a couple pictures. I still haven't heard back from them, but I'm giving you guys my honest opinion, showing you guys how they arrived, and they do smell pretty darn good. So if you guys are wondering why I'm looking two different angles here, because you're on the G7X and you're on the Canon EOS M50. So I'm testing out the sound. I've got a mic set up on the big camera here, and I'm just testing the sound over here on this Canon, and also the video quality. Gotta know which quality I like better, which one films better. I'm definitely thinking this one here, the M50, but it actually looks better on the little screen here on the G7X. We are going to be doing a rose-inspired video, and I'm going to be making the concrete vessels, and we're going to do a little bit of a different design today. We're going to be using soy wax. We're going to be using a rose petal fragrance oil, the wooden wick. I absolutely love the wooden wicks. Those are just my favorite wick. We're doing that, and then we're going to put some rose petals and some rose buds on top. So anyway, you guys are interested in sticking around and checking out the video, then keep watching. All right, so like I always do, I add 4 parts of Simmental to 1 part of water and just mix this until I get that perfect consistency that I like. Most of you guys like that pancake consistency. I like it a little bit watery, so I'll show you guys here in a second once I get it to where I like it. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little bit watery. This is not a pancake consistency. It's just above that. So I'll pour it about a quarter of the way down, almost halfway, and then I will tap out those bubbles. You just have to tap the heck out of it. That's my best recommendation. And then I'll finish pouring the rest of this, and I'll tap it again. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up my lid right here. Just tap out the bubbles. And I'm gonna let these sit for about 2 to 3 hours. With the Simmental, it sets up pretty fast. I'm using this, I don't know if it's a box cutter or what, but I found it in my husband's toolbox. And if I can find it on Amazon, I'll list it below. But I'll tell you what, it was a handy little tool. So I'm going to cut off the bottom edge of this mold to make it easier to remove. In several of my concrete videos, you guys have mentioned, and it's been very helpful, that if you cut off that bottom lip, this makes it so much easier to remove the concrete vessel out of the mold. So here I'm going to try it for the first time, and wish me luck. Make sure I don't screw something up or cut my fingers off. So I just start by, cutting it off from the bottom. I didn't want to cut my table, so I basically flipped it over and decided to try and cut it from the top. And it did make it a lot easier doing it that way, because you can actually see the concrete sitting in the bottom of the mold there, so you know not to cut that part of the concrete. And you just want to cut right along that dark line of where it sits. All right, now that we got that done, let's go ahead and see how easy this is. You guys have recommended it, so we're going to find out right now what happens. Oh yeah, you guys, that is definitely a great tip, and thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh, that is a lifesaver, especially for my hands. As you guys can tell, my fingers are so sore. They are completely red. I have no nail polish. They are tore up at the moment because trying to take these things out of the mold has been a nightmare. So thank you guys for the recommendation on this. I will be cutting every single one of my molds now going forward. All right, let's get this one out and see how it turned out. This is the lid. And there, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and let these air dry for a few hours to maybe a day. Let them dry overnight, and then I'll come back and then we will go ahead and paint these. I've got some acrylic paint here. I'm going to try this out, see how well it works. I've got a little cup that I put the paint in, and I've got a brush, a little paintbrush, something cheap that I picked up off of Amazon. And I put some blue tape here on the inside. This is painter's tape, just to keep the paint from leaking in on the edges there. I want to keep all the red paint on the outside and around the top part of the vessel. So I'm just going to dip this paint in and get a good amount on my brush. And we're going to go ahead and start painting this. This is the fun part. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never done this before, so this is the first time. And it's actually pretty darn vivid. I really like this. This has a very nice shiny sheen to it, and I hope that it stays this way. Making sure that I am covering all of the concrete part of the vessel. Make sure I get that all smooth. There's no clumps. It's not thick in certain areas. And then I'm going to go around the top edges and get that all painted. And now for the lid. This is going to be the fun part. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint the letters and just keep those white, but a little bit of paint got in there in some of the letters. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and paint all of it. And I'll go in and pull out some of that extra paint that's in the grooves there in my logo, and then smooth it out. Just keep doing that until you get exactly what you want. Now I'm going to take the tape out, and it's been drying for about 20 minutes. That's all you really need. This paint dries extremely fast. That's what's really nice about it. So I'm just going to pull this out, just go very, very gentle. Make sure you don't, pull the paint off. And that's what you get right there. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that's like really cool. I absolutely love this red. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It matches the rose theme that we're going with. And there's the lid. Okay, so I've ordered some of the Nurture Soap Supply. These are the red rose petals and buds. So I kind of just pick through this bag to find the prettiest petals, and I've also got some of my own rose buds that I dried out. So I didn't really like the rose buds in the Nurture Soap bags. I'm just going to use 2 for these, and then I'll just cut the stems off because they still have thorns on them. And here I'm using Mad Mica's color. This is in, let's see, this is the Angry Rose color. It's a nice red shimmer, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this mica on these rose buds just to make them pretty. Now I'm not wetting the brush, I'm just using a dry brush and just dusting that powder on there. Here I'm using a Rustic Essentials Rose Petal Fragrance Oil. This is their 1 ounce. All right, I'm going to weigh out all of my wax for this particular vessel, and I always do 10% fragrance load in my soy. So we're just going to measure this out and start to let that cool, and then we'll get our fragrance oil added into it as well. Then I'm going to add almost the entire bottle of the fragrance oil. This is going to be a 10% ratio. And then I'm going to take my wick, got my wooden wicks and the clips and the stickers all together ready to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and take that and put that directly down into the center of the vessel. Make sure it's completely straight. And these are wooden Wickco's wooden wicks. I'll list all the information in the description below if you guys want to know which particular wick this is for this vessel. And I'm just going to mix my fragrance oil and my wax together. Make sure that's fully incorporated. Let that cool for a little bit. I'm going to check my temperature. All right, I just take my wax, I pour that slowly down the center. I pretty much saturate that wick and fill this one up to the top. I try to pour slowly so it doesn't form any air bubbles. I'll let them sit for about probably a few hours. Sometimes I end up forgetting and I come back the next day. Now I'm going to do the top. Basically what I'm going to do is just heat this up with a heat gun, melt that down a little bit. Here I'm just placing the rose petals and the buds to my liking, and whenever you're done, that's it. And look how beautiful that turned out. All right, well, how did you guys like that video? I absolutely love making these concrete vessels. They are so much fun. And I just thought today would be the perfect day to do a rose candle and take you guys along with me. So anyway, thanks Forever Rose for sending those to me. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and I'll see you both. I'm talking to you both. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.